You probably know that California is in a horrible drought. Cadiz Incorporated is proposing a project that they say will help mitigate the effects of this drought. The Cadiz Valley Water Conservation Recovery and Storage Project will pump water out of an aquifer beneath the Mojave Desert, and this water will then be piped to the Colorado River Aqueduct and onto water providers. Cadiz is billing this as a sustainable water conservation project, but that claim deserves to be held up to scrutiny. The National Park Service has said that the Cadiz project will likely have serious environmental effects on the nearby Joshua Tree National Park and the Mojave Trails National Monument. Animals that live on these public lands rely on natural springs for water, and it's entirely possible that, much like a greedy Daniel Day-Lewis, the Cadiz project could drink the entire desert dry. Cadiz even admits in their draft environmental impact report that they don't know enough about the science to fully predict future Much of the land around the project site is public, but because of the antiquated rules that California uses to determine water ownership, Cadiz can sell all of the water it collects. Understand, the rules that are in effect today date back to 1849, a time when an acre of land cost $1.25 and people hated the Irish. Later, new rules were added under the Water Commission Act of 1914, and that's where we are now, playing by an old set of rules in a game that's rapidly changing. You see, right now, Cadiz Incorporated is losing money. They're operating an organic farm on top of the aquifer in the middle of the Mojave Desert, the driest desert in North America, and as insane as that is, it's important to remember that this kind of agriculture is the norm in California. Our state produces an incredible amount of food thanks in large part to farms located in once arid regions like this. These farms rely on water to be delivered to them through a series of canals and pipelines. In the San Joaquin Valley, agriculture is a $17 billion per year business. With no other source of water, farmers have begun using groundwater to grow their crops. This widespread pumping of groundwater has led to subsidence, or sinking of the ground. Between 1925 and 1975, the ground in the San Joaquin Valley has sunk 9 meters. That's about 27 feet. Today, parts of the valley sink at a rate of almost a foot a year. And this has very serious effects. The land subsidence is cracking irrigation canals, buckling roads, and permanently depleting storage space in the vast aquifer that underlies California's heartland. And as the subsidence gets worse, pumping water becomes harder and harder due to changes in ground pressure. But most importantly, the fact that the subsidence is a big problem means that we're using water faster than it naturally recharges. Which brings us back to the Cadiz project. At 50,000 acre-feet per year, Cadiz will be selling water at a much faster rate than it can be replenished. The recharge rate in the area changes each year depending on rainfall, but the U.S. Geological Survey gave an annual estimate of between 2,000 to 10,000 surface feet per acre. And in recent history, it's been much closer to the low end. On October 30th, 2017, Standard Lithium, a Canadian mining company, announced that it has entered into an agreement to secure access to land in Bristol Dry Lake and in the adjacent Cadiz Dry Lake. As a result, the company now has access that allows for exclusive lithium brine production and processing. This is troubling. Just listen to what MIT has to say about brine mining. The process involves extracting and evaporating the brine solutions, potentially releasing harmful elements and compounds into the environment. Well casings, pipelines, and storage tanks are subject to corrosion due to the high salinity of the solutions that they're exposed to. It can lead to leaks and contamination of adjacent bodies of water, and most importantly, there's no economically feasible plan to clean up contamination of an aquifer from sodium chloride or from other harmful contaminants. Because this all happened so recently, it hasn't been factored into the environmental reports. Sure, everything might be just fine, but it might not. After all of my research, I find myself asking the same question over and over. Why would things be any different this time? And, I haven't found an answer. At the end of the day, this company is doing the exact same thing that got us into this mess. Exploiting new untapped resources is inherently unsustainable. Using resources faster than they naturally get replenished is unsustainable. And this water project promises to do both of those things.